Tucker Carlson appeared on the Full Send podcast, and I have a couple moments from this for you. They're strange. Obviously, I don't mean literally, but the phrase that came to mind when I watched one of these clips was, it seems Tucker Carlson's having a little bit of a mental breakdown, because he's giving off weird vibes, guys. And part of it is when he's not in his studio with his script, he actually is not great at handling interviews, I've noticed at least, and gives off really weird vibes. And you'll notice that here in a second. But first clip I'm going to show you is on the subject of Trump saying over and over and over that if he were president, he would be able to end the Russia-Ukraine war, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, in 24 hours. Not providing any specifics as to how he would do that. Just magic, but he thinks he could end it in 24 hours. Of course, that is absurd. It wouldn't happen. But Tucker Carlson gets asked about that. And in what he says, I want to kind of dissect a lot of the dishonesty in Tucker Carlson's whole approach to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, something we've discussed a lot in the past. But here's this.
Better place when China and Russia control the majority of it. You just can't say that. I'm sorry, you just can't.
No, you can't.
And yet they're making that a dead certainty.
Wow. Well, I saw Trump said he could close that in 24 hours if he wanted to. Do you think he could?
I have no idea. I mean, he couldn't build a border wall in 4 years. So, there is a gap between promises and delivery with all politicians, very much including him. But I will say, in Trump's defense, and maybe because he's a little bit autistic, he saw the stakes of this, like at the very beginning. He's like, you don't want, and this is what I do love about Trump, particularly in foreign policy. He sees the big stuff. He's like, wait, you've got Russia and China. They don't trust each other. We can't let them get together. They'll kick our ass. And we're not going to fight a war against them, one hopes, but we'll definitely be taking orders from them. Definitely. Mm-hmm. No. And he said that 5 years ago when everyone's like, shut up, racist. Okay, he's a racist. But is he wrong? Like, what? Why don't you address the question? Shut up, racist. Okay. He's a racist. All right, got it. But he says, if we start a war by proxy against Russia, Russia will align with China and we'll be fucked. Like, do you think that's true or not? Shut up. I mean, they would never address it. Mm-hmm. And that's when
So, Tucker, is this person who keeps calling Trump racist for saying China and Russia working together would be dangerous? Are they in the room with you right now? Because what are you talking about? This is what Tucker Carlson has kind of grabbed onto, I've noticed. If he doesn't actually have a good way to dishonestly characterize what the other side believes that he could knock down, he just comes up with one. Oh, the issue with Trump and his foreign policy was that people were saying him, being against NATO or something, or being against China and Russia working together. When was that even a discussion? But made him racist, as Tucker does. Again, something's wrong. Something's wrong with Tucker Carlson these days, I gotta tell you. But he's just being deeply dishonest, because what does he keep saying, alluding to, or explicitly? The United States is the one causing Russia, China to have to unite in some horrible conflict, and this is a proxy war that the United States is trying to continue. And Tucker's constantly talking about how it's kind of the United States warmongers who are trying to keep this going for this reason or that reason. And it's just not accurate. We have a past as a country of so many foreign policy decisions, interventions in countries that just were not justified. Us supporting Ukraine in their defense of themselves when an authoritarian country is trying to take them over and occupy their sovereign country, it is perfectly justified, and it is in the interest of long-term peace for the United States to support Ukraine in that situation. And the Biden administration's actions in doing that and uniting the world around supporting Ukraine have been very good. And so Tucker Carlson's, similar to what we talked about previously in today's show, pointing at a problem and saying that the presence of that problem means the solution being put forward is bad, but not explaining why the solution is bad. What I mean by that is he'll say nuclear war is more likely now than it has been previously, and Russia and China are now kind of getting more cozy than is probably comfortable if they have certain ambitions with that. And then you continue, etc. But that's his proof for why what Biden's doing is wrong. But he hasn't explained why the current United States' policy is wrong, except for to lie about it being the reason that Russia keeps invading Ukraine, which is not true. Russia keeps invading Ukraine because Putin has decided he wants to try to take over Ukraine. That's why. It's wild. Second moment here, his views on Andrew Tate.
I guess this is a crazy transition, but going off like the masculinity thing, you recently talked about how Andrew Tate is it was a setup.
Yeah, oh, you think?
No, I just want to hear what you're.
Like, what?
I think so too, but I want to hear your whole synopsis on it.
I mean, at some point, so Andrew Tate, who I'm not, an intimate friend of or anything, I've talked to him.
You had him on the show, right?
I had him on the show, for like 40 minutes, and then I've talked to him just personal offline once or twice. He's first of all, he's really smart.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's completely real.
100%.
100%. And I'm almost 54, so I'm really old. So there are parts of what he says that are like so far out of my world or context or experience that like as you get older, you're like, I'm not exactly sure what this means.
Like OnlyFans and shit, right?
Right. I was like, what? That whole, so there's a lot, I'll just say it. I'm just being honest. There's some that I miss.
Yeah.
About Andrew Tate, but the spirit that animates Andrew Tate is very clear and very obvious. And it's not a malicious spirit at all. Andrew Tate's core message is respect yourself. Act like you're worth something. Achieve something. Do something. Get the fuck off the couch. Put down the porn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go do something with your life.
So Tucker is now on the side of Andrew Tate is being framed. This is a setup. Of course, he was arrested for human trafficking. That case is still playing itself out. But some significant evidence has come to surface through reporting about what's being investigated. But what's kind of ironic about what Tucker Carlson just said there, he said, get off the couch. This is Andrew Tate's message. Get off the couch, have respect for yourself, and stop watching porn. Andrew Tate made a bunch of his money off of a webcam business, and what's being alleged here, what's being investigated, is him human trafficking for that webcam business. So, webcam, what that is, what's going on there? It's porn, or I don't know, interactive porn, I guess you would say. So I don't know if his message is stop watching porn when that's quite literally how he built his wealth. But all around, of course, Tucker Carlson's going to defend even Andrew Tate because that's what Tucker Carlson does. I think the only metric he has is how different can he be than those he hates. So if he has this image of a progressive in his mind, I think he just thinks, what would be the most oppositional view to them? I don't care if I even believe it. I just want to pick that view because his logic is just non-existent on Russia's invasion of Ukraine, on Andrew Tate, on immigration, and it really is just about provoking people. And the way that you provoke a lot of people and get a lot of people to like you within this part of the right wing is to be the own the libs guy or the anti-woke guy and not really stand for something yourself except for that. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.